welcome everybody to this highly anticipated Startup Texas Final Pitch Summit event for the year 2021. It is our second iteration of this event, and we couldn't be more excited about it. My name is Josh Mejia. I'm the Executive Director for the Brownsville Community Improvement Corporation, your economic development organization for the beautiful Brownsville, Texas. We kick off this event with a welcoming message from our chairman of the BCIC, Mr. Michael J. Lemus.
Hello and welcome. My name is Michael Lemus and I'm chairman of the board of Brownsville Community Improvement Corporation. Thank you for being with us for our second annual Startup Texas Pitch Summit. What started as a seed fund program for entrepreneurs in Brownsville hoping to scale their business almost immediately turned into a COVID-19 relief aid program. We are very happy to announce that not only did we invest in 5 startups at our last Pitch Summit, but we helped provide support to over 1,500 at-risk employees. We provided over $400,000 in COVID relief, and in conjunction with our partners at the SBA, we helped secure over $9 million in federal aid, all within the last 12 months. At BCIC, we're focused on investing in the human capital of our community and commercializing scalable businesses here in the Rio Grande Valley. We are proud to bring forth programs such as Startup Texas, where we continue to pursue entrepreneurial equity. Brownsville is officially becoming an entrepreneurial hub for those seeking to grow their ventures. We are very excited for the teams that are about to present, but please don't forget, vote for your favorite business through the Community Choice Award. Thank you so much for tuning in and enjoy Startup Texas.
Thank you, Josh, and thank you everyone for joining our second annual Startup Texas Pitch Summit event. My name is Nathan Burkhart, and I'm the Director of Small Business Development and Marketing for the Brownsville Community Improvement Corporation. At BCIC, we're extremely involved in promoting entrepreneurship equity and wanting to create a full ecosystem of entrepreneurship here in the Rio Grande Valley. The winners of tonight's event will each be receiving $20,000 in seed funding for their ventures. But before we begin, I'd like to introduce our esteemed judging panel. Our first judge is Mr. John Hannick. John is a managing director of Purdue Ventures at the Purdue Foundry. The Purdue Foundry is a startup incubator focused on commercializing developed technologies through startup companies, as well as managing director at North Riverside Partners. Our next judge is Ms. Krista Covey. Krista is the president of First Flight Ventures in North Carolina, as well as overseeing the program Hangar 6 at the Research Triangle Park. North Carolina's original science, technology, and business incubator, its program is focused on prototype design assistance for space and technology-based companies. Our next judge is Mr. Trey Mendez. Trey's a local lawyer and founder of Dodici Pizza and Wine here in historic downtown Brownsville. Trey is also the current mayor for the city of Brownsville, who's focusing on a citywide broadband initiative to help bridge the digital divide here in our community. Our last judge is Ms. Jennifer Serrano, founder of Jen Ziano Designs, a Latina-owned and operated empowerment brand from Brownsville, Texas. Jen is not only an entrepreneur here locally, but is also the inaugural Startup Texas Pitch Summit winning finalist for 2020. Thank you so much to our esteemed judging panel for volunteering to be part of our second annual Pitch Summit, as well as you all at home participating. We'd really like for everyone to participate in voting for their favorite business for the Community Choice Award. You can comment below or actually text our phone number to your favorite business with the following code. We can only use the following phrases that will be counted towards each business. So please be direct when texting our phone number, 888-816-8043, the following phrase to vote for your business for the Community Choice Award. Our first presentation of the day is a great venture that comes straight from Brownsville, Texas. Cilantro Sauce is here to share a secret family recipe, commercialize their product, get from the farmer's market to the grocery store shelves. Up next.
When we started Cilantro Sauce, we knew we had something special to share. My name is Corando Treviño. I am co-founder and president of Cilantro Sauce LLC, a family-owned and operated food manufacturing business founded in Brownsville, Texas in 2017. Nowadays, many sauces on the market contain preservatives or benzonates to extend shelf life, and we believe this can take a toll on the flavor, but most importantly, on our health. That's why at Cilantro Sauce, we maintain our products farm to table, with minimal process and only natural ingredients to keep a fresh and flavorful product. From a family recipe, cilantro sauce is the perfect complement for any meal. It is a creamy cilantro flavor with a spicy kick. It goes well with salads, pasta, seafood, poultry, steaks, snacks, pizza, and the list goes on. Founded in 2017, with people in mind, we made sure our product was safe by reaching out to the state health department and getting a food manufacturing license. After a successful event, we bootstrapped with a small investment and joined the farmers market. It took everyone by surprise and our product caught on. We learned that people not only liked the product but also wanted to have it available in a store near them. And local retailers invited us to be part of the stores. Currently, our products are only available in the Rio Grande Valley area, but we have daily inquiries from other places where our product is known. To be there, we need to be able to increase production. That's why our goal is to assemble a higher capacity production line. And to do this, we have taken the opportunity our city of Brownsville, Texas has offered us. The only funding we have received is an economic injury disaster loan from the Small Business Administration. During the pandemic, there was a national shortage of mason jars. This funding allowed us to buy in bulk direct from the manufacturer and securing a steady production. With the StartUp Texas funding, we will be able to maximize our production by getting more capable equipment. Also, we plan to invest in product development for a better Brownsville-made product. Cilantro sauce became a trending topic in the farmers market community in 2018. Expanding to other markets increased exposure and direct customer sales. Production capacity reached its limits in 2019. With efficiency efforts, our product found its way to stores by popular demand. With reduced selling channels in 2020 due to the pandemic, wholesale became a bigger percentage of our sales. Our loyal customers could now find cilantro sauce in more stores. The reason we love our company so much is because of the value we provide. People buy our products not just because they're good, but also because they trust our company. We are proud to be partners with local businesses that share the same ideals. We're not the only ones in the market, but we want to be your first choice when it comes to getting a sauce. Every day we work towards creating a better product with the best ingredients to get the right certifications on our labels. When it comes to production process, we care for our environment. By using glass jars as our packaging material, we're eliminating single-use containers. Glass is among the most recyclable materials on the planet, and even when glass isn't recycled, it remains safe and stable and releases no harmful chemicals into the soil. We would like to thank our mentors and advisors who have helped us throughout the development of this venture.
Thank you so much to our first presenter, Cilantro Sauce. I want to go ahead and open up the floor from our judges for any questions.
So I'm happy to go first. Is my mic on?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, nice presentation, very professional. Just a quick question to kind of kick it off, and that is, what is the shelf life on the product when it's in store? So prior to refrigeration, and then I'll just ask that question. And then the follow-on question is, how, what are your plans for expansion, and is shipping a product that's freshly made like that an issue?
Yes, we have that on the books. The expiration, the shelf life is actually about a month. It's a fresh product. We intend to keep it fresh, and we are looking into having natural ways to make it last for longer. It lasts for longer than 1 month. We just give it one to be safe. But we're currently developing and looking into that also.
Great, thank you.
Hi there, I'm Krista Covey. Nice to meet you. Great presentation. Can you see what the price point is, the sales price and the wholesale price, and then also your cost of production per unit?
Our cost of production is about $3.50. We're looking at about a $6, $5.50, $6 wholesale, and being $8 the suggested manufacturer retail price.
Great. I wish I could try it. It looks delicious.
Thank you.
I have a quick question. Are you all currently shipping these? Like, do you all have an online store and shipping them?
We are
Right now, we're not shipping, but we're planning to. Since it has to be a refrigerated product, we want to take the best and more safe measures.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. My question is more about scalability. Whenever I see a product like this, I have tried it and I like it. I'm a fan of y'all's products, but my question is always going to be on the scalability part, right? Whenever you have a good product, and we're going to see a couple of these today as well, but whenever you have a good product like this, I'm always curious about where you see this scaling, right? Like how much can you produce? How quickly can you produce it? What's your demand right now? And are you seeing issues with demand and production?
Yes. We currently have an output of 4,000 units per month. We're planning to double that up to or quadruple that to be able to reach other markets like Austin, Houston, and Dallas. Yeah.
So I assume that as you double production, your cost of goods sold will lower. But what I'm interested in knowing right now is what your current margins are. I think you're selling it into farmers markets predominantly, but what kind of margins does that give you on the product?
We get about more than 50% margin on the farmers market. That's only on the farmers market. We plan to wholesale this and have a 50% also margin in stores.
Sorry, Trey, we can't hear.
Oh, okay. Are you seeing any leftover product at the end of the month, or are you?
No. Not at all.
So you've got more demand than what you can produce at this time.
Yes, we get emails all the time from outside of the city, and a lot of people are asking us to ship the product, to have it available in stores. Every week we sell out of the product. We try to make as much as possible, and we just reach capacity, and we cannot expand more than that. We're having a little. We're trying to expand to McAllen also. But the production capacity that we have is limiting us at the moment also.
So could you talk to me a little bit about your team and how you plan to grow your team?
We plan to get someone to help us, wholesale manager that can help us expand to other stores and other markets. We've had emails from people offering just that in Dallas area and
Forward.
Forward, and they are just waiting on us to be capable to deliver, to produce, since there's a lot of people that like the product over there, and in Houston and San Antonio also.
Have you kind of, in light of that, have you been able to make any connections into any of the larger food chains, HEB or anybody like that down there that could kind of enhance distribution?
No, at the moment we haven't approached any distribution networks. We're working on distributing our product ourselves, using fridge units, trucks, and we haven't gone into. We plan to go to food chains like Sprouts and Central Market, other specialty markets that are out there that can carry our product. Potentially HEB at some point.
How have you guys funded it so far?
Could you repeat that question for me, please?
Yeah, how have you funded it to this point?
We started this company. We funded this company with a $200 investment. We've grown it. We've grown this far, which is that fund that we started in the beginning. And
yeah, good for you.
Yeah, really great job.
Thank you.
Is this your first venture?
It is.
It is, yes.
Great.
I actually have clients that have placements in some other grocery stores that have products in other grocery stores, and I'm kind of wondering. I know you haven't really started having the discussions with specialty stores like Whole Foods or Sprouts or anything like that. But what are you going to see as your biggest barrier to entry there? Because I know for some of my clients it was production. So what are you seeing as your biggest barrier to entry on that?
I think it will be labeling. Labeling is something we're still working on. We still have to put a barcode in it. We do want to add some certifications, but especially we do want to have the capacity to be able to meet that demand before we actually go and try to offer it to them.
All right,
so
we have time for one more question.
What's your dream? What's your dream of where this business can go?
Our dream is to have this product be national.
To share with families, and they can enjoy it as we do.
Awesome.
That's great.
Thank you.
All right, thank you all so very much. We're going to go ahead and get right over to our next presentation.
Thank you for having us.
Our next presenter is AMYCO, specializing in data centers and focusing on wireless communication infrastructure for safety and smart cities.
Hello, I am Pilar Caudillo, an entrepreneur and a telecom expert. I have a master's degree in telecommunications from Tecnológico de Monterrey, Ciudad de México. I have started 3 companies in the past 25 years. One of them sold to a company registered in the US stocks and security offerings. I also have worked in transnational companies such as Citibanamex, American Express, and Accenture as an executive director. Now, working as an innovation and sales director at AMYCO.
Hello, I am Agustin Martinez. I am a telecom engineer from the UNAM with postgrad at Tecnológico de Monterrey and IPADE Business School here in Mexico City. I am the CEO of AMYCO, And AMYCO is a company dedicated to telecom business for the enterprise and industrial markets since 26 years ago. In all those years, we have a lot of successful stories that we can talk about, and private and government sector. Customers as AT&T, Costco, American Eagle, or Suprema Corte de Justicia de la Nación, among others. We offer our best services and technical solutions, but also we offer the best customer service.
We are a group of technology experts that will work with the community leaders, municipalities, and private sectors to leverage the telecommunication technologies for smart homes, enterprises, and cities. These projects will contribute to more efficient services, safer communities, and the most important, improve the quality of life. To point out our capabilities and solutions, we used Brownsville as an example. We did an investigation looking for the telecommunication challenges and opportunities to enhance that our business model works. Now in the US, we are a startup. We are seeking new sources of funding to create our startup in the US. However, we bring a large trajectory of experience and funding opportunities, as we have partners that are willing to invest in the region to improve the quality of life. Brownsville could host our first project in the US. We have been working and doing some research on the requirements and problems that need to be solved in the Rio Grande Valley area, specifically in Brownsville. We will mention 3 examples and our improvement proposals. First, digital divide. As Mayor Trey Mendez said, there is a lot of benefit that comes with high-speed internet connectivity. We need to be thinking carefully about how to ensure our citizens to have access to telehealth, remote learning, e-commerce, e-government, smart home technology, and free Wi-Fi for the community. Second, revitalization of downtown. The downtown area has a big opportunity. It can become a great place to stay, open new services, restaurants, commerce and business, where people can walk safely and enjoy the area. In order to have a successful project, telecommunications are an important part of the foundations. We can add value to the revitalization project by including our experience and solutions, such as telecommunications infrastructure, to communicate with high-speed internet and even free Wi-Fi for the community, smart city projects that we will explain further. Third, Port of Brownsville. The growth that Port of Brownsville faces will demand a non-stop evolution constantly. The supply chain will require a bunch of different solutions to satisfy the customer demands due to the free trade agreement between the US, Mexico, and Canada, and the increasing traffic between the countries. The 5 lines of expertise that we can offer to accomplish the telecom requirements are: first, data centers. Because the Rio Grande Valley area will require more data centers in the near future, we offer design, certified installation, and monitoring for data centers. Second, networking. The internet, cellular telecommunications, and Wi-Fi are growing exponentially. We offer design, certified installations, and monitoring for wired and wireless networks. Third, telecom infrastructure. 5G is here. Interconnection of things is becoming a reality. We can help improve cellular coverage in different areas. Fourth, IoT. Because the supply chain and the logistics of Port of Brownsville requires more efficiency every day, we offer our industrial IoT services. Fifth, our innovation area, smart cities. Installing poles and specialized solutions for smart pedestrian, smart bus stops, smart lighting, autonomous vehicles. infrastructure for safety CCTV, and free Wi-Fi for the community. Our partners. SECNER. SECNER provides communication infrastructure in cities and townships with the possibility to co-invert with local governments. Extreme Networks, one of the top 3 telecom equipment manufacturers. Bandwidth, one of the top 5 manufacturers for IoT and industrial IoT. BIP, one of the leaders for autonomous vehicles solutions. Our working team. In Mexico, are certified engineers with the higher standards in the industry. For innovation, we work with our mentor, Dr. Rogelio Bustamante, from Tecnológico de Monterrey, Ciudad de México.
In the U.S., we are working to shape a group of experts in Brownsville, Texas, through the ECC Entrepreneurship and Commercialization Center, engineering and business faculties at the UTRGV, high ed, and local community colleges. Over the next 4 years, telecom companies are expected to invest up to $57 billion. We are willing to target 0.5% of it.
In the U.S., the Federal Communications Commission plans to devote $20 billion to improve mobile connections in rural areas. Many rural areas don't have the density nor the business presence to support the capital investment that is needed. The cost per customer served is simply too high. Closing these divides will require the public sector or other private investors to step in to support rural coverage to ensure more inclusive access.
Our marketing strategy plan includes private and public sector.
We propose to dedicate our efforts and funds to create the infrastructure in Brownsville that will help job creation, invest in equipment, promote our services and products, continue doing customer discovery to enhance our client base, doing research to gain more knowledge, and of course, pitch more projects.
We are a one-stop shop that integrates different companies, even competitors, to deliver an end-to-end solution. This is our competitive advantage, a great hub of companies.
Building a more connected world will create a substantial economic value, mostly enabled by advanced connectivity and data. A new model and a holistic point of view where we consider social factors, the environment, viable projects, sustainable indicators of the region. All of these will help the climate change objectives. With our holistic point of view, working with municipalities to define telecom and smart city projects. As Shakespeare said, what is the city but the people?
Thank you for your time. Let's go to questions and answers. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, AMYCO, for that presentation, and we're going to go ahead and open it up to the question and answer round. We have 5 minutes.
Thank you.
So I'd be interested in better understanding your model for the U.S. operation, and if you can maybe talk a little bit about your things like your historical annual revenues in Mexico, and just kind of give us a sense for the footprint you have there, and how you're going to kind of translate that to the footprint that you're building in the U.S.
Were you all able to hear the question? Pilar, can you hear us?
Yes. Yeah, he
Can
is.
you unmute yourself?
Can you hear me?
We can't
Yeah,
hear you, Pilar.
I am on mute. Creo que no nos escuchan, ¿eh? Yo sí te estoy escuchando.
Yeah, we can.
pero
I
ellos
can
no.
see you, Augustine. Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, can you go ahead and repeat the question, John? There was some communication issues there. Hey everybody, can you all hear me okay? Looks like we entered some communication issues with Pilar and Agustin. We're gonna give them one more chance here.
So yeah, I don't know, Nathan. I don't know if that was you or Josh, but the sound seemed fine on my end. The question had to do with kind of their business model in Mexico and then how they're translating that into the U.S. model. And I think Mr. Martinez has answered that. Hopefully, everybody heard it.
I'm
Have
sorry,
you heard
I didn't
it?
hear the response.
Solamente only John heard.
Yes, I hear you. I think the question is whether everybody else does as well. Yeah, it's working. It's working fine. I guess my question would be, did the other judges hear Mr. Martinez's answer?
No.
Oh, that must be a technical issue then.
Do you hear me?
I do.
Okay.
Now I hear you.
Okay. Okay. So no, maybe we lost now Agustin, and you're hearing me. I don't hear Trey.
Okay, I was on mute. That was my that was my problem. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. My question is, if you've identified who your competition is in this general area, and why you think you may offer some sort of superior service or product over any competitor locally.
Yeah. Well, as we mentioned, we are like a one-stop shop because we work with some of our competitors. For example, some of our competitors could be SBA Telecommunications and Vertical Bridge, which we are working with. Also, Extenet could be one of our competitors, but we work with them integrating the solution because some of them, they don't have the specialty in smart cities and the sensors. They only build the infrastructure to be able to connect the operators. And also we could use some free spectrum that the government is giving a way to have access to internet and LTE services to some of the rural areas. That project is being implemented together with Extenet in McAllen, for example, to have internet access, to give internet access to schools. I'm not hearing.
To follow
again.
up on that a little bit, one issue that we've seen while we've actually been working on our smart city initiative and our broadband initiative, one issue we've seen is kind of a difference in the way that the connectivity is actually explained by some of the internet service providers. We see that they're telling us that we have 99% coverage in the city of Brownsville. But one thing that we don't see is actual reliability and speeds. We see some download speeds, but we don't necessarily see upload speeds that are equivalent or that are going to be necessary and useful for streaming and other things that we're doing now. So is that something you've seen in Mexico, and is that something that you have solutions for?
Yeah, and we have worked together with the operators. What we do is we first measure the signals together. We share that information to the operators and also to the municipalities, and we consider the municipalities in order to push to have a better access and maybe have 5G services, because sometimes in some areas you only have 2G or 3G coverage, but having 5G and LTE and higher speeds and less latency will give you a better service.
Does anyone else have any more questions? All right. Well, thank you all so much. And I apologize. There's some connectivity issues for communication on our end with feedback. So I apologize for that interruption earlier. Thank you, AMYCO. And we'll go ahead and move on to our next presentation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our next presentation is a veteran-owned business, Raw Chocolate, who's looking to bring his bean-to-bar chocolate factory into Brownsville, Texas, commercialize its product, and get to store shelves soon. Up next.
Share screen. 1 second. No. Wait. Are we good? Yes? Okay. Yeah, just making sure. So, hi, I'm Jesse. I'm Jesus Bojorquez. I'm a craft chocolate maker. I'm going to bring the first chocolate factory to Brownsville, Texas. So, yes, we make chocolate from cocoa beans. We don't melt chocolate. We actually make it. Finishing up my military service, I came back to Brownsville, my hometown. And then to finish my education, I was working. I was studying for biomedical sciences. And I was supporting for my family as well. I got involved within my community. And I saw that there is an increased problem with obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. So actually, I think there is the lack of information of what we eat. That causes a lot of health problems. So cacao is, for some, is the food of the gods. Chocolate got bad reputation because the big companies, they put a lot of stuff into it. But cacao is just a superfood. It has a lot of, it's really antioxidant rich, and it will make you happy. So the reason we start making chocolate with only $200 out of the garage of my home to provide with a healthy alternative for my community. So this is how we make chocolate, but it would be better if I can put it on a little video for you, okay?
We can't actually see your video.
Okay.
You're sharing the wrong screen.
Yeah, I'm using Chrome.
You're sharing the Chrome screen. You need to be sharing the screen that has the video. Can you exit full screen? Like, you need to exit out of full screen mode, whatever you're in at the moment.
Yo empecé a vender en los farmers market en Brownsville, Harlingen y McAllen. Realmente me di cuenta que el chocolate tiene una muy mala reputación porque las compañías les agregan muchos azúcares y aceites. Entonces yo quería hacer algo diferente para mi comunidad. Quería ofrecer un producto saludable, quería ofrecer un producto natural, manteniendo los beneficios del cacao como un superalimento. Cuando yo trato de hacer chocolate, siempre lo trato de hacer lo más natural posible para poder mantener los beneficios del cacao y así los clientes se puedan sentir mejor. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Okay. Queremos nomás realmente dar un tostado muy ligero para preservar los sabores y aromas del cacao. Después
I'm sorry for
Lo
that.
que tenemos que hacer es una máquina, se llama winnowing, básicamente va.
I'm already exit out. Really? My bad, I'm sorry. So let me see. Share screen, and then it's gonna be share screen. Which screen we wanna share? Mm-hmm. Why? Give me 1 second. I don't know where is that. Okay, maybe it's this one. Okay. Okay. My bad. Okay, got it. So yes, I'm Jesus. I'm sorry for all of that. To all of the judges, thank you for your time, and I apologize for the inconvenience this may cause you. So let's start over again. So I'm Jesus Bojorquez. I'm a craft chocolate maker. I'm going to bring the first chocolate factory to Brownsville, Texas. Yes? No? Okay. Okay. No, okay, got it. No full screen. So, yes, we are chocolate makers. We make chocolate from cocoa beans. We don't melt chocolate, we actually make it. So, as I mentioned before, I came back from the military service. I saw that there is a big problem within my community with obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. There is a lot of there is not enough information of what we eat, so that causes a lot of health problems. Cacao is the food of the gods. Chocolate got bad reputation because the big companies they put a lot of stuff into it, but it's really good as an antioxidant, and it will make you happy as well. So I started making chocolate from $200 out of the garage of my home because I want to provide, I want to bring culture to my community, and as well I want to provide healthy options. So I'm gonna put a little video of what we do. Okay, I guess I cannot do it. Okay, are you still there? Yes. So Packet Evolution, we got on 2016 we start making hot chocolate bars, like abuelita chocolate, stone ground chocolate. Then we moved to cacao nibs, and then 2018 we start making refined chocolate. With the refined chocolate, we're able to make chocolate nut butters, chocolate snacks, and as well we are able to do chocolate bonbons. Our Packet Evolution is always good to know how we started, where we're at, and where we're heading. So we start off with plain stock bags in 2016. We move on to craft paper bags in 2018, and we have a custom design for 2021. And like I mentioned before, cacao is the black gold for me, and that represents the new bags. Packing Evolutions, the better the packaging, the more sales. Compare the pair. There is nothing to compare, but with Nutella, but it will give us a point of reference. So We actually use Oregon hazelnuts grown here in the United States. We use chocolate, the chocolate that we make from cacao, and we don't use refined sugar. No oils, no dairy, no extra stuff that we don't need it. Throughout this journey, we have met a lot of people that became more friends and advisors, including from UTRGV and Brownsville Wellness Coalition as well, and back to the farmers in South Mexico, in Chiapas. Why people love us? If I can describe it with only one word, I would say quality. When people try our products, they actually come back for it. Market value, economic impact. So the bean to bar chocolate market is expected to have a 24 billion for 2027. So, and this is because customers are increasingly seeking for higher quality chocolate products. As well, we see a growth of interest in supporting local and small businesses. The growth in the market can be compared with the trend of a specialty coffee and a craft beer like Pluton Brewery or 7 Park. Quality matters. Yes, quality matters. Manufacturing, the more processed the cocoa beans, the less health benefits we're going to get out of it. Fermentation, this comes from the farmers. The better fermentation, the more antioxidants the cacao beans will have. And agricultural origin. So imagine if you like to drink wine or beer, we like all beer or all wine to taste the same. So I guess things happen with chocolate. Different origins, different soils, different environments, different farmers. It will give you a different experience. I cannot show it right now, but we source cocoa beans from different countries. So we currently have cocoa beans from Mexico. As well, we have cocoa beans from Guatemala, cocoa beans from Dominican Republic, and cocoa beans from Uganda as well. Some of the benefits behind doing direct trade is because we have better quality cocoa beans. We have better freshness, fresh cocoa beans, better support, and unique quality product. The grant that we're expecting is to buy a chocolate tempering machine. This chocolate tempering machine will allow us to reduce expenses, labor expenses from 7 hours, we can reduce to 7 minutes. With this, we can actually increase our daily production. With our daily production, we more sales, more tax dollars as well, and consistency. We will be able to maintain a consistency product so we can submit it for the Chocolate International Awards and get certification for our products for vegan and keto as well. So how we make money? Chocolate has 3 business models. One is retail chocolate shop, wholesale distribution, and online model. I was doing a farmer's market, and I'm still doing it, but we're going to start a new experience with the chocolate retail. So with the chocolate retail store, I can also share the full screen, but actually we can have, or we'll be able to offer drinks, pastries, education as a chocolate courses, wine tastings, and stuff like that. We will be able to do caterings, and as well, we want people to experience chocolate, to have it in a good environment and space. The wholesale distribution, so we actually can wholesale to local restaurants, and the distribution model can be for healthy retail stores throughout the valley, fitness centers throughout the valley as well, and our main target will be wholesale foods like H-E-B, Sprouts, or Whole Food markets. We'll start with online order. The thing that I like about chocolate, one of the other things that I like about chocolate is that we can actually ship it. 2-3 days, you can get it in your doors in the 50 states. So we start really slow, to be honest. So 2018, we only have 18 sales through online orders. And 2019, we increased to 56. 2020, we increased to 238. That generates a revenue about $15,000 just through online orders, and we're expecting to have 985 orders for this 2021. Our our own Etsy is not only target market, but we want to be in eBay, and or one of my main targets, it will be Amazon fulfillment. So with Amazon fulfillment is the letting e-commerce, people can buy final products and we get customer feedback. We love customer reviews. That's why we choose to go through our customer feedback e-commerce, so people can get reviews out of it. We're shooting to the stars, so we actually can hoping to make this a franchise, or it can be expandable to be a franchise, making Brownsville as a home center for distribution. Our goal at Raw Chocolate is to people experience chocolate the way they have never done it before. It's 100% transparency. We want to make farmers' lives better, and we want to improve our community quality of life. Sitting in our community and the United States, the United States and the world with a superfood that brings you joy, happiness with health benefits. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jesse from Raw Chocolate. As we all know, especially the folks here on the panel, the entrepreneurship startup life is a very difficult one, full of adversities and challenges, even if those include a couple technical issues along the way, especially when you do things remotely. So we now begin the 5-minute Q&A. Judges, feel free to ask away your questions. We will have a timer here ready. And Jesse, if you can just cancel the screen sharing so we can see you on video. We can hear you as well, so we can give you the opportunity to answer some of these questions. Thank you all.
Are we good?
The screen sharing still is on.
How can I
just to let you know, Jesse.
MacBook, no, my camera.
Feel free to click on the gear icon on the top right of your page.
And then I click.
So you can
yes,
stop sharing the screen.
it's showing that it's sharing the screen. Oh, okay.
If that still doesn't work for a few seconds, we could. There you go. There's Jesse. Thank you so much.
Sorry, I'm not really into technology sometimes.
And now you're muted though.
Oh, really?
No. We can hear you.
Okay.
Jesse, I'm not going to start with a question. I'm just going to start with a statement, and that is keep your enthusiasm. I mean that no matter what happened, your enthusiasm shone through the whole thing. It was great.
Thank you.
Yes, I have to echo that. Entrepreneurship is tough. Things don't always work well, especially technology. So good job. I'm excited to have heard your presentation. I'm a big fan of chocolate. Can you tell me a little bit more, and you may have already said it and I may have missed it, but can you tell me a little bit more about your online sales, what that looks like, and what you expect to do?
Yes, I started doing, or my idea was I want to get into a platform that is going to be customer-based reviews, because at the future, a lot of people are buying based on reviews. It's not what I say at the end of the day. It's what people think about my product. So that's why I started doing it through Etsy. I cannot do it through Amazon yet because I need my commercial license. That's what I'm working right now. But yes, we saw an increase of about 400%. We start low, but we've seen an increase of on sales, online orders.
I actually love your product, and I used to buy it at the farmer's market. And then when COVID happened and we couldn't go to the farmer's market, I actually started ordering from your Etsy shop. And I am based in Brownsville, and I know that you were actually delivering, which is amazing and shows to that entrepreneur spirit that the judges here are celebrating you for. And my question is, I know that you're saying that you were wanting to use the grant money to invest in the machinery to make your production much faster. Is that because your demand is increasing that fast that you need the machinery to make more?
Yes. To be honest, I was doing, and this is a good thing about doing craft chocolate, that everything was, doing with my own hands. And
and now I'm not able to produce as much as the customer demands. I want it gets tired, and if not because the machine is just gonna help me. I still have to operate the machine. So yes, it will help me a lot to actually improve, increase our production amazingly. Yeah.
So at full capacity, how much improvement in production will the machine cause?
I mean, while talking about just the machine itself, I can actually produce by just me about $1,000 worth of product, and that's $1,000 worth of product with about even I have 30% of that's my cost of goods sold. So I can make $1,000 with 30% of that cost of goods sold. Yeah.
Is that a daily rate?
Yes, that will be a day. I will be able to produce that. Yes.
Jesse, I'm familiar with your product. I've seen the trajectory of your business over the last 3 years. I've seen it grow, and I'm a fan. Obviously, you know me. You've seen me buy your stuff. I see two issues with your business at this point. One of the issues I see is price.
Okay.
Your price is a lot more than any other comparable product, right? So that's one. And then two, my concern for you going forward is being able to source your product. So my question is twofold. One is, how do you plan to get your price down in the future? Because I see that the success of your business being tied to the cost of your product overall. You're able to sell it now at $10, but I think eventually you're going to need to sell it for less. And then to reach a bigger market. And then two is, are you able, if your demand grows and you get to where you want to go, are you going to be able to continue to source the product from where it is that you're sourcing it now?
Good questions, and thank you. To be honest, everybody has different point of views. I think my product is worth what I sell it for. And there is a lot of craft chocolate makers that they sell it for a much higher price than what I do. I don't know if I can. Yes, I can reduce prices, but I will have to sacrifice quality, and I don't want to sacrifice quality for price. At the end of the day, people are looking to me because of the quality, not because of the price. And when they try it, they know that what they're paying for is a value item. This is it's not expensive. This is a value item. That's my point of view. And if we're able to increase our production, yes, I have direct contact with farmers in South Mexico. Those will be my main suppliers that I will, and they will be able to produce as right now. They will be able to produce for my needs. Yeah.
That kind of brings up another question then, as far as production. What is your total production now, and what's your goal for production going forward?
For example, my product and cacao production from last year, I did about 1,000 pounds of cocoa beans, and I transformed into chocolate, and chocolate into cacao, chocolate nut butters, chocolate spreads. I'm thinking on production, I can expand easily up to 5,000-6,000 pounds a year. We can do it. We can make it happen with the with the tempering machine. It will allow us to increase our production. Yes.
Can I go back really quick to what Trey was saying about the price?
Q&A section for raw chocolate. Thank you so much, Jesse. Judges, we appreciate those questions, and we move on to the next presenter.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
As a home brewer myself, I'm very excited to announce our next presenting group, Pluton Brewing Company, a microbrewery out of Brownsville, Texas, focusing on creating hoppy ales out of locally sourced ingredients.
In the early 2010s, 6 friends, Daniel, Joey, Daniel, Diego, Rick, and Rolly, drank a lot of beer together. Craft beer had recently gained the attention of the mainstream, with many new breweries emerging who pushed the envelope of artistry in the beer brewing world, and we loved every bit of it. We dove into craft beer culture as a group, cheerfully imbibing beers from San Antonio, Austin, Colorado Springs, Boston, Seattle, and countless other cities. Before long, a question arose in our collective minds. What about us? What about Brownsville? Brownsville had no beer to call its own, so neither did we. The solution? Make our own dang beer. In 2015, Joey and Daniel founded the Pluton Brewing Company, and we began work in earnest toward developing Brownsville's first native craft brewery. Today, after thousands of collective hours of study and practice, the Pluton Brewing Company is here to answer the call. We are Brownsville's first and only craft brewery, and it is our goal to put Brownsville craft beer on the map. And of course, we get right into things and talk about our beers. First up is one of our flagship beers, El Jefe Hefeweizen, a very, very delicious all-day beer, great for cookouts and asados. I especially like this one for the marinating of fajitas, very effective for that one. We also have our down-to-earth cream ale. It is themed with aguas frescas in mind. Of course, we are all Hispanic in this company, and that is very often reflected in our recipes. And the aguas frescas varieties that this cream ale comes in is nopal, prickly pear, RGB citrus, melon, and many more to come, honestly. Our Moon Juice IPA is always a fan favorite. It's a hazy India pale ale beer, very hazy. You can't even see light to it. And my personal favorite, Un Poco Coco Porter, rich and dark, perfect for Sunday merienda, and not terrible for a hangover, let me tell you. And of course, anytime we decide to make our beer, we use local ingredients and local flavor. There you see some locally grown and locally harvested fruits and vegetables that we have used in our recipes. And of course, those ingredients come from our allies, friends, and collaborators. Of course, some of them are on the business side of things. Others are on the ingredients side of things. On the business side of things, we have the Entrepreneurship and Commercialization Center at UTRGV. They adopted us this year, and we just could not be happier. Also, this last year in 2020, before the pandemic really got going, we got to participate in the Crossroads Festival, which was fantastic. We hope to participate in future ones. In the middle right there, you'll see us standing with Mr. Cactus himself from Monterrey. He is the man who makes us all of our organic nopal powder for our nopal cream ale. And on the right, you see a coffee-beer combination made by our good friend Rafa at Spirit Fruit Company. And of course, we would be remiss if we didn't mention the 5x5 Brewing Company. They've become our big brothers and our new best friends. We have been collaborating with them a great deal over the course of the last several months. And we actually have a beer set to premiere with them just in a couple of days here called the Space Gunner Coconut Porter. And it is one of my favorite beers that I've ever made. And I am really pleased with how it came out. I can't wait till you guys have a try on that. Follow us on social media. Actually, we'll get a chance to do that in a little bit to see when you can get a chance to taste that delectable beer. So right now we can't sell our beer for money until we have our tap room open. So once our kegs are full, what happens to all that beer? Basically, we throw a party and give it all away. We distribute about 300 12-ounce pours per event at $4 per pour, which is quite competitive. We're talking about $1,200 per every event. We've had 25 events so far, so that is a value of about $30,000 that we've just given away because we're so excited about sharing our beer with our friends, family, and community. Our new 5-barrel system that we hope to buy with Startup Texas funds would allow for up to 450 kegs monthly or 24,000 pours per month. I'll let you do the math there. Of course, job creation will be a very big part of what the Pluton Brewing Company is about. We will have a direct employment staff of a 6-man production team, many of whom you see in the pictures right now. 1 sales manager, 1 general manager, and 5 to 10 employees on our floor staff. And of course, this is just our direct employment. There will also be other ways that we impact the local economy in the rent we pay, in the taxes we pay, and in the contractors we hire to build our awesome place. Let's have a look at our history and where we've been and where we're going. In 2015, obviously, Joey and Daniel founded Pluton Brewing. In 2016, we completed our team, and practice makes perfect, so we started making lots and lots of beer. The focus really being to perfect the craft and really earn the title of craft brewery, okay? In 2017, we developed enough confidence in our product to start sharing with the community, and we started hosting pop-up events and community outreach, and we continued our R&D, and that theme continued through 2018 and 2019. And in 2020, everything came to a screeching halt for reasons everybody remembers. We had a pandemic. And this year in 2021, we have hit the ground running with our extensive collaborations with 5x5 Brewing and our goal to secure funding for a location to eventually open for business in 2022, hopefully expanding to wide distribution, brand expansion, and continued community education in 2023. So how will we use the Startup Texas funds? Well, I mentioned it briefly a few seconds ago. We hope to expand production to a 5-barrel system with a 10-barrel production capacity. This will allow for a brewing capacity of up to 70 barrels per month, or once again, 2,000 gallons or more. With a projected water efficiency of 90% or better, this system will serve as a model for sustainable production in the community. In-house water filtration purification can provide clean water to the community in emergency situations. Now, our total available market, this part might be a little talky, but the beer industry represents about $29.9 billion of revenue annually, with 3 dominant operators. And I bet you can guess what 3 brands those are. Now, the beer industry as a whole has seen a general decline over the last 5 years, but that might be deceptive because craft breweries within that market have been expanding exponentially. The rise of craft breweries has come up to 16.6%, which means that about 1 in every 6 beers that is sold is a craft beer, and small regional breweries have experienced significant growth. So while revenue is expected to decline in the whole beer industry, it masks the growth that we're experiencing in craft brewers. Okay, now our goal is to sell our beer and branded merchandise in-house and establish our branded products in bars and restaurants throughout the greater Brownsville area. That's this year. Upon implementation of our 5-barrel system, the Pluton Brewing will have a brewing capacity of 70 barrels per month once again, and our current half-barrel system will be repurposed for our ultra-premium, super high-end, limited-release Galaxy-class craft line. We will also, of course, have in-house kegging systems for distribution at restaurants, bars, and other tap rooms. Now, competition, well, there currently is no competition among craft breweries in Brownsville. There's no breweries within 20 miles of the Brownsville city limits. There are 5 breweries in the greater Rio Grande Valley, but given that every single one of them is a 20-minute ride or longer away, it's not exactly practical for an Uber ride. So the lack of craft breweries in Brownsville leaves us with little local competition. We're still the only game in town. We hope to be the first out of the gate. Now, let's talk really quickly about craft beer and how it's inclusive and not exclusive, okay? An exclusive beer drinker chooses one beer, and that is all they drink. A craft beer enthusiast wants to try as many different varieties as possible. This makes other breweries, even the ones that may occupy the same market space as ours, more allies than competitors. The more beer we have in Brownsville, the more craft beer people will seek out. Now, our sources of income include on-site beer sales directly to the customer, pints, flights, pours, and cans. We got them. Branded merchandise, many examples of which you can see right there on the table. Local bars and restaurants. We, of course, have forged strong working relationships with Terras, El Hueso del Fraile, Dodici, The Flying Pig, El Santuario, and Shot Republic. Other sources of income include brewery tours and pop-up events. If you are having a wedding and you and your spouse would like to have your own custom beer with both of you featured on the label, we can make that happen. We also will be hosting local music, art, and cultural events. And, of course, we'll be making our beer available nationwide through internet-based nationwide delivery service Tavor, okay? We do have a robust social media presence. The Pluton Brewing Company currently has about 1,000 followers on Facebook, and that is echoed on our Instagram and Snapchat pages. So let's talk about Brownsville then and now. When Brownsville was a young city, it was very separated geographically from the rest of the country, and the idea was to bring the rest of the world to Brownsville. All the craft beer we enjoy in Brownsville that came from elsewhere to us. So there's no beer native to Brownsville. Our inspiration stems from the drive to flip that narrative. You know, we used to want to bring the national brands to Brownsville, and we were successful in that. But now we want Brownsville beers to be sent out to the world. The people of Brownsville, ourselves included, deserve to experience craft beer that is entirely theirs from grain to glass. The rest of the country deserves to have a taste of what makes Brownsville a special place. The Pluton team came together to make this a reality. We want Brownsville to be on the border, by the sea, in your cup, and beyond the stars.
Oh, I did it.
Thank you once again, Mr. Rick Presas from Pluton Brewing Company. Just the voice alone makes you want to crack a cold one right now. With that said, we're going to go ahead and open up the Q&A session of this presentation. Judges, feel free to ask away your questions.
I am here with fellow owners, Joey Martinez on this side and Daniel on that side. So any questions you have will be answered by any one of the three of us.
Looks like Krista's muted. Just a quick reminder.
Okay, that was just me.
Oops, sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Excellent job. That was really well done. I definitely want to try the El Jefe Hefeweizen for sure. I was being a little snarky. I was asking if your team actually produces more beer than you drink.
I wish.
I don't think he can hear.
Oh, there you go. Now I can hear you now.
Like Rick is having some audio issues here. Rick, if you can hear us, you are on mute at the moment.
Nathan, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you catch that last question?
I haven't heard anybody's question yet.
I am so sorry. I can't hear you, but I was trying to give you some kudos. That was a great presentation.
Miss Krista, I think she might be on mute.
So hopefully you guys can hear me. But when do you think you'll be in a position to actually start some commercial sales?
Hopefully this year. Again, because of the nature of Texas,
we can't hear you.
Alcohol sales law, we can't actually sell our beer for profit until we are licensed and have our tap room up and running. Because of that, it creates kind of catch-22 of we can't sell our beer for money until we have a place, and we don't have the opportunity to have a place until we have our money. So that kind of creates the catch-22 situation with our licensing and our ability to sell our beer for profit.
So what kind of runway do you have right now? I mean, are you at risk if it doesn't happen until September?
I'm sorry, could you please repeat that question?
Yeah, just want to get an idea of your runway, meaning if you can't open the tap room until like the third or fourth quarter, does that put you more at risk?
Well, it can, but right now, because of our collaboration with 5x5 Brewing Company, we can actually use, because we're brewing with them, we can actually use their licensing for the beers we make with them. So for the time being, that'll have to do until we have our appropriate licensing and our tap room open. But once our tap room gets open, we hope to be able to hit the ground running as far as sales of our product goes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, this may sound like a silly question, and maybe I missed it in your presentation, but what's stopping you from getting it? Is it just capital?
Pretty much, that is it. The brewing system that we showed you guys that we hope to purchase with our startup funds is mighty expensive. So is our water treatment equipment. So will the lease of our storefront. These things we are currently self-funded. The four owners, myself, Daniel, and Joey. We finance the entire company ourselves right now, and as such, we are limited with what we can do.
If you're referring to the actual sale of our product that we're currently brewing at the moment, the reason why we can't sell it is because we need to be licensed by TABC in order to be able to sell our product for profit. And we can't be licensed with TABC if we don't have our brick and mortar location. Right now, we're doing it from my garage at my house, which is a residential area, which is also about 100 yards away from an elementary school. So we can't necessarily get our license, and be able to sell our product with the location that we're using right now. So hopefully with future investments, we're able to get a location so that we can perform that.
How much capital do you need to actually open up the tap room?
We're estimating about $300,000 to $350,000 capital to get our doors open.
And what does the market size look like in Brownsville and in the 20-mile radius right now?
Well, once again, we are the only game in town in Brownsville, or we will be the only game in town once we open. Brownsville is a major metro in the area. It's actually the biggest metropolitan area in the Rio Grande Valley, which itself is one of the larger metropolitan areas in South Texas. We have a lot of people in Brownsville, ourselves included, who are really excited at the idea of having our own brewery. Joey?
Another thing we have going for us is, we have our convenience stores, we have our HEBs, we have our gas stations, we have our bars, we have our restaurants that have openly stated, when are we going to open so that we can have your beer here? There's the market actually is more untapped than you would think. We're kind of underselling where we can sell. It's just a huge open market to where we can have our beer distributed to. And that's not including our tap room where we can have our beer itself, where people can come to us and drink.
Is Trey getting audio? So while Mr. Trey is working on his audio connection, do any of the rest of y'all have any questions for us about how we're going to go about doing what we hope to do in the city?
Well, I guess my question has to do with sustainability of the model. If you don't get the tap room open, I mean, do you have opportunities to expand the volume that you're doing with other microbreweries?
Yeah. Well, so one thing that we do have a advantage of is that we could have it's called contract brewing.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have been talking to other breweries here that would be happy to have or small batches what we do. Of course, we can't really interfere too much in their large batch stuff, but for the time being, if we do get a license to do contract brewing, we can do 1 barrel batches, which are about 30 gallons per batch, and be able to sustain ourselves in that way. And something else that we found, a little hidden gem in, is that people like wearing our stuff. People like representing our stuff. So we have lots of merch. We have lots of hats. We have lots of.
It sells out very quickly. We have a very loyal grassroots fan base.
So can I order a hat online?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
We'll get that going up quick.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Watch for my order coming in.
Make sure we get your size, sir.
All right, awesome, guys. We are experiencing some technical difficulties with audio with one of our judge members from our panel. We do have just time for one more question. If anybody from our judging panel would like to ask away, right now is the time.
So right now, just so I'm clear, you are, so pre-COVID, you were doing events and things like that? Is that correct?
Yes,
okay. And that has been able to sustain your business and since 2015, is that correct?
We started as a brewing company in 2015.
Okay.
We didn't, early on it was there's a lot of work that you have to do.
Like you are on mute, Rick.
Obvious brewer. Am I on mute?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay. There's a whole lot of work involved. There's a very wide line between being a hobbyist brewer and a craft brewer. Okay. And 2015, 2016, 2017 were largely spent honing our craft and getting good at brewing beer. We started in earnest working toward opening in around 2018, 2019, and of course 2020 derailed everything.
And our investment has mainly been outreach. We want people to try the beer. We want people to experience the beer. And we want people to meet us and know that they're getting something from, locals.
Again, a grassroots campaign is what we've been about for the last year, for the last several years. And we've developed a very loyal fan base. People really, really do love coming out to try our wares.
Excellent.
Excellent. Well, that concludes our Q&A for this section. Thank you so much, Pluton Brewing Company. We are going to jump into a 10-minute commercial break. So
thank you, Dave.
Hang on tight. We're going to go ahead and jump into this intermission, and we'll jump in right back into our next presentation.
Did you know the City of Brownsville has its own COVID-19 helpline? We understand that you have questions about testing, vaccines, and amendments to declarations. We have answers, and we connect you to the resources. Call 956-394-0012, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have real people behind each phone line. The City of Brownsville COVID-19 helpline is here to help. Call today.
Welcome to the Rio Grande Valley.
shoes on, she wants to move. Looking for trouble, honey, is it you? Feel the world under her feet, all the cracks up in the concrete. Take a step back, she's coming through. Baby looking shady, she's on the run. Maybe, just maybe she'll find the sun.
I saw that the country is running short of PPE, particularly the mask. The mask is very important to stop the spread of the virus. But unfortunately, our country is not producing that. So I think we have expertise here. We have the support from the city. So why not we do this here in Brownsville? Any places, any people who have need, but if they cannot afford it, we are willing to donate. Whenever we do any project, we need financial support. The BCIC is always supportive, not only financially, but also in terms of policy, in terms of training. So we can always rely on BCIC to give us advice. I saw that the country is running short of PPE, particularly the mask. The mask is very important to stop the spread of the virus. But unfortunately, our country is not producing that. So I think we have expertise here. We have the support from the city. So why not we do this here in Brownsville? Any places, any people who have need, but if they cannot afford it, we are willing to donate. Whenever we do any project, we need financial support. The BCIC is always supportive, not only financially, but also in terms of policy, in terms of training. So we can always rely on BCIC to give us advice.
Our next presentation are entrepreneurs from our beloved neighbors in Mexico City, SECNER. They're looking at using electromagnetic surface technology to be able to inspire new solutions in the oil and gas sector. Up next.
Good afternoon to you all. Did you know that pipeline expansion in the US has exploded in the past years due to shale oil production? Did you know that pipelines need to be checked every 5 years? In order to prevent oil spills, we have developed a technology that saves financial resources. Let me introduce you to the IMPTM's technology. My name is Jose Femat, and I am a part of a team that over the last years have developed and tested this technology in Mexico and more recently in the US with excellent results. As you might know, the US has become one of the major oil producers since 2012. Over the past 5 years, total liquid pipeline miles in the US have increased over 23,000 miles, including an 18,000 miles expansion of oil pipelines. This expansion has also led to a growth of pipeline infrastructure maintenance. Federal regulation requires pipeline owners to certify their conditions and perform a series of analyses every 5 years to ensure the compliance with safety regulations. Ensuring compliance involves regular inspection of pipeline operation and facilities, and this is where we make a contribution. Coating inspection is a primary activity in the integrity management of assets, and this inspection is not always easy to do. There are some technologies that perform these tests, such as DC voltage gradient technology, or DCVG, stress concentration tomography, or SCT, and then IMPTMs. Let me explain this technology in the next part of this presentation. IMPTMs technology inspects where others cannot. Our technology performs integrity inspection from outside the pipeline, but it also determines pipeline code condition in a quantitative manner, locates code damage with high resolution, and distinguishes a selected pipeline among a group of pipelines in the same right of way. Against other technologies, IMPTMs allows to process results faster and delivers in-depth results of up to 65 feet versus 10 feet with other technologies. It also processes soil resistivity and assesses corrosion activity. As we have already mentioned, it distinguishes a pipeline among a group of them and through different layers such as water, asphalt, or concrete, and even it distinguishes a branch of this pipeline. So imagine the advantages that we have against other technologies in a freeway or in a city's downtown where electrical, telecommunications, or water pipelines interconnect. Our technology does not need operation nor the cathodic protection to be stopped. Another critical advantage is that if an anomaly is detected, repairing costs tend to be a small fraction of that using other technologies and mainly because it's accuracy. This means that if a repair is to be made, digging a trench of a few yards would be much less costly than digging a larger trench while using a technology that delivers probabilistic results. Research and development of this technology started in 2001. By 2009, the Mexican Petroleum Institute developed its first version and started working with Pemex, our state oil company. In 2015, IMP developed a second version with improved operational features. By 2018, we decided to open this technology to other latitudes and carried out some field tests here in Texas. So we are planning to start commercial operations into the world's biggest market, Texas, of course, based here in Brownsville. We have patents in the US, Mexico, and Canada, and have won 2 innovation awards. Our technology has also level 9 of the technological readiness levels, once used by NASA to assess the maturity level of any particular technology. Our technology has been used by Pemex in Mexico and tested here in Corpus Christi, Cotula, and Beaumont with excellent results. We have worked with these partners, Next Era Energy, Energy Transfer, and Sunoco Logistics. IMPTM's technology is preventive. Thus, by complying with federal regulations, it aims at reducing leakages and, in a worst scenario, a serious damage in communities and in the environment. Our objective is to contribute to the regulator's ultimate goal of 0 spills, 0 deaths, 0 injuries. For communities, our technology reduces risk levels and increases the pipeline's reliability by defining a precise location of any anomaly to avoid spills and explosions. As for the environment, following proper maintenance and repairs would help reduce oil leakages, preserve flora and fauna, keep populations safe around pipelines, and lessen contamination on natural water deposits. Once in operation, the use of this technology is expected to create the following benefits to the community of Brownsville: 3 direct full-time jobs, 3 direct jobs per inspection event per kit, 10 indirect jobs for pipeline maintenance, and taxes for Brownsville headquarters for our North American sales and services. We are open to explore other uses of this technology with UT-RGV. SECNER, a licensee of this technology, is looking forward to open a co-working office within UT-RGV, carry out a roadshow and field tests within Brownsville area with at least 5 companies and with the help of the U.S. Commercial Service. In addition to the kit we already have, we plan to assemble 1 additional kit this year. In the medium to long term, we are aiming at a partnership with a professional coating services inspector to identify growth segments and opportunities in the industry and obtain the most updated information on the superficial inspection pipeline integrity projects here in Texas. The business is starting with 3 people for administration and support in situ. The target for the next 3 years is to build 8 kits. So as you can see, we are ready to rock and roll. As you recall from previous slides, our main market is related to oil pipelines. Within the US, we are interested in Texas, where the majority of crude oil pipelines are located and where the network is so big that requires inspection all the time in different zones. So we expect to reach a target market of at least 2,000 miles in the following 3 years. If granted, we are planning to use existing equipment to carry out field tests and build a second kit to break into the market. By 2023, our plans are to have 8 kits and have signed contracts with local partners. In the long term, we project to have at least 10 kits and start exploring neighbor states such as Louisiana. Our sales are projected as depicted in this slide: $458,000 in 2021, $2 million in 2022, and $3.7 million in 2023. Resources will be invested in the following way: to open a co-working office within UTRGV plus travel expenses, to carry out a roadshow and field tests, and to find a local partner. Who are we? We are a company with strong international presence and more than 20 years of experience in procurement and maintenance, although our founding partners have more than 50 years of experience within the energy industry. We offer integral solutions of procurement, specialized maintenance, modernization, and instrumentation. We are working very closely with the IMP, the Mexican Petroleum Institute, which is a public worldwide class research and development center dedicated to provide solutions to the oil industry with more than 50 years of experience, being a tech supplier for the oil and gas industry. As you can see, we are here and ready to operate, hire people, and start paying taxes. We would like the StartUp Texas community to back up this success and join us in this exciting journey. As Bill Gates once said, we are here to ask you for your help, to cross the valley of death, to take the risks that allow companies to get innovation out of the lab and into the marketplace. Please find here our contact details. Thank you very much.
Thank you once more, SECNER. We do have some judges that are jumping back online here to be on the Q&A session. We might have had some technical difficulties along the way, but judges, feel free to ask away any questions so that the representatives of SECNER can have the opportunity to expand on those questions. Thank you all.
Thank you very much for your presentation. That was very informative. I do have a question. How does the legal, actually, how does the new issues with the legislation either expanding or condensing or stopping new pipelines affect your business, or does it?
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Jose, may you answer? Give the answer.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, we do have your audio on here.
Yes.
Rafael, we do have your audio. If were you able to answer or hear that question that was just asked?
Perdón, it is answering another sound from I don't know who, but please keep on with the answer.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
What are your expected total startup costs for the U.S. operation?
The startup cost will be about $300,000 for the first year, and in the second year we are going to have some positive cash flows. Then the investment and the needs, the capital needs for the from the second year and on will be covered with own business cash flow. But for the starting, the needs are for to build and craft the first equipment. We have now just one equipment, but this only equipment, this single equipment has a small capacity if we consider our target of 2,000 miles per year. To reach this target, we will need about 10 equipment, 10 kits, and starting with the first year with two new, plus the equipment we have, and in the second and third year, building about one new equipment each 4 months.
And who do you think your primary competition in the U.S. is?
Well, all the maintenance companies. There are some companies for the maintenance and the pipelines, and they have some position, but they have an old technology, and the new technologies for this proposed are in the same position that us. They are starting, they don't have enough equipment, and we now reach a good market share, because the electromagnetic technologies are in the same position that us.
Thank you.
Yeah, if I might add some to what Rafael was saying, our equipment is more accurate. We can provide results faster. We also have an in-depth capacity. I mean, over other technologies, we can go up to 65 feet versus 10 feet with other capacities. We can distinguish a pipeline among a group of them. We can distinguish a branch. We can go through different layers of materials such as water, concrete, and above all, we are cheaper. We provide services in a cheaper manner than them. So yes, we know that there is some competition. We know that there are companies that provide the same services than us, but we have some advantages that we want to take advantage of and give them to our potential clients.
So are you ultimately looking to seek funding through investments, or is this all going to be self-funded from the corporation?
Jose, please answer. Yeah.
Yes. Well, sure. Thank you for that question. Yeah, it's a very good one. We are looking for other sources of finance. We are financing a part of it, but as Rafael was saying, we need $300,000 for the first year. So we are trying to look for another opportunities and find resources. If we are granted with these funds, we are planning to use them to build the first start funding the first equipment, but mainly to carry out some field tests in April and May, and with that we are planning to start sales by June. So by June we're starting to start making some money to start funding the next equipment, and so on and so forth. But yes, to answer that question, John, yeah, we're looking for other sources of funding, and we are using some of our own money to finance our first year of operation.
Bueno. Bien, estamos en la sesión de... Sí, estamos
Thank you all
nos están
again
preguntando.
for those questions. I believe our Q&A session is already now up. We're going to go ahead and proceed with the next presenter at this point. Thank you all again very much for your questions.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Our next presenter is Amor y Pan, a local bakery here in Brownsville, Texas, that focuses on freshly baked goods that are high in fiber and contain a near zero glycemic index.
Good evening. My name is Karina Saldivar, and I am presenting Sweet and Fit LLC DBA Amor y Pan. Amor y Pan is a delicious, healthy, guilt-free, and sustainable alternative to sugar and grain-based desserts and foods. So let me start by telling you a little bit about our story behind us and how it all started. A few years ago, my younger brother was diagnosed with a debilitating autoimmune disease. For years, we watched him go through chronic pain. He was feeling miserable on a daily basis. And after being handled by an array of doctors, from internists to infectologists, so many other specialists, he still had no clear cure, a diagnosis, or an alternative for that matter. So as the years went by and he was learning more about this disease, he noticed that it was actually food that was triggering his body whenever he was having a good or a bad day. So he was finally placed on a restrictive diet by his doctors, and he basically had to change his lifestyle radically and overnight, which meant no sugars, no grains, no gluten, and nothing processed. Super hard, if you ask me. So after struggling to keep his lifestyle in check due to the lack of healthy foods in the market, and especially in this area of the RGV, that's when I put my knowledge to the test and started developing foods that were not only healthy, but super delicious. And that is how Amor y Pan was born. So as you can see, at Amor y Pan, we have faced the challenges together of seeing a loved one affected by an incurable disease. So to us, this is a daily compromise. This is something that hits home every single day. And that is why we always say that this is from del corazón a la mesa. And since we're on the topic of illnesses, let me give you a broader understanding of how this not only affects us at Amor y Pan, but all of us as a society. And we have some numbers and facts that are pretty scary. Poor nutrition and bad diet contributes to stress, tiredness, and our capacity to work in our everyday life. Over time, it can and it will contribute to obesity, high blood pressure, some cancers, diabetes, and autoimmune diseases. And this is just to name a few. The consequences of a poor nutrition in the U.S. are as follows. The U.S. spends a staggering $327 billion annually in treatments for diabetes alone. And it is likely a very vast understatement. 34 million people have diabetes, and another 88 are pre-diabetic. Also, regarding autoimmune diseases, the AARDA estimates that 50 million people have an autoimmune disease. Actually, 75% more women than men. And this is currently one of the top 10 killers for women under 65. And although this sounds super scary and very alarming, we can still do something about it. Studies show that a functional medicine approach with optimal nutrition can help reverse a compromised immune system, enable your body to restore itself, and manage the symptoms. The problem? The lack of options to maintain a healthy lifestyle, whether it is to support a medical condition or a food restriction, which then leads to the consumption of unhealthy foods and poor nutrition. And as we all know, this is something we are dealing with every single day as a nation. Our solution, Amor y Pan, will provide a sustainable, delicious, healthy, and guilt-free alternative to sugar and grain-based desserts and foods, specializing in low-carb, keto, paleo, vegan, diabetic-friendly, gluten-free, and organic. For the line of Amor y Pan, we have the line health benefits. All of our foods and desserts are carefully crafted around the benefits of grain, sugar, and gluten-free diets. And as you can see, the health sustainability motto of our line is to offer products that prevent inflammation, support digestion, aid in weight loss, controls blood sugar, among many others. Our line of specialty grain-free, sugar-free, and gluten-free products is composed by a full array of desserts, breads, pastas, and our number one seller, Amor y Pan's almond flour tortillas, which they are our rock stars, which are keto, paleo, and vegan, and have only 2.5 net carbs, which is one of the lowest glycemic indexes in the market. Our tortillas have the FDA certified nutrition facts, as well as the Tabla Nutrimental Mexicana, which means that we are ready to export into Mexico. Amor y Pan tortillas are packaged and ready for commercialization. Based on the response and the increased sales, we started looking to our target market and how much potential we as Amor y Pan have to continue to grow and scale, focusing on people with health conditions, weight conscious, and healthy lifestyles. Our market availability is as follows: $1.4 billion for total available market, $210 million for serviceable available market, and projected $2.6 million for serviceable obtainable market for Amor y Pan. Our competitive landscape focuses on the almond flour tortillas, which is our number one product and the first product in our line ready to be launched and commercialized at a national level in the US and Mexico. And we are ready to manufacture and put it on shelves all around in supermarkets. Also, we are working on other stuff and planning to release a full line of products. The competitive landscape of our tortillas is as follows. We have direct and indirect competition, and the difference between Amor y Pan and our competitors is flavor, clean ingredients, no preservatives, no gluten, and we definitely have the best tasting product currently in the market, hands down. We have managed to keep the flavor and texture with pure and intact ingredients. For our sales channels, we are currently operating Amor y Pan brick and mortar store. We also have started shipping nationwide to customers that have called us directly to our store or contact us via social media. We are ready to launch our website, which is www.amorypan.co, which will service the USA and Mexico. And we are also in local restaurants that are serving our tortillas as part of the menu. For projected sales channels, we have H-E-B, Whole Foods, and Walmart. For our amazing team and key roles, we have Karina Saldivar, present. I am the CEO and founder, head pastry chef, and product developer. We have Javier Saldivar, CFO, and rest. We also have a very trusted team of advisors formed by engineers, doctors, business, and marketing experts. For partners and resources, currently we are working with UTRGV's programs such as TMAC, the Texas Manufacturing Assistance Center, UTRGV's the Entrepreneurship Commercialization Center, and Incubator. And for resources, we have the certifications that certify and verify our quality as gluten-free, organic, just to name a few. And currently, we are also in talks to partner up with customers such as H-E-B, and we're hoping for Walmart and Whole Foods. For resiliency and sustainability, on May 24th of 2019, we started our plans to open up our shop and go commercial with our brick and mortar store. On March 2nd, we opened our doors to customers. But soon after, on March 11th, COVID-19 was declared a worldwide pandemic. So within 2 weeks of opening, walk-ins were not allowed and people hadn't even visited our store. It was a certain time of uncertainty and fear, but we knew this was our time to shine. We kept our services going. We adapted to our new environment by moving our operations to an online platform, utilizing social media, Instagram, WhatsApp digital menus, so people could order from afar and have curbside pickup as an option. The result, our name and our brand started getting recognized and the business thrived. Sales increased by 500% in comparison to pre-pandemic. And we can honestly say that today we are a success of resiliency and sustainability. So how do we keep this momentum going? If we are awarded the Texas Startup Funds, we will allocate the following way. We will designate $20,000 for the expansion of our kitchen through the purchase of equipment and industrial machinery to continue our expansion. The idea is for us to grow and meet the demands such as H-E-B, Whole Foods, and our soon-to-be launched website, which will service customers in Mexico and USA. The remaining $5,000 will be toward obtaining our certifications and any legal fees that might incur. The Startup Texas grant will not only improve our scalability, it will impact our community by creating jobs, sales and tax revenue for Brownsville. And most importantly, we will create awareness for a better and sustainable lifestyle and facilitate achieving those goals by providing the food products that will improve those health habits for our customers. Research shows that healthier people are also more environmentally conscious, and good food leads to good things. And we want Amor y Pan to be a part of the good in Brownsville.
My name is Karina Saldivar, and I am an entrepreneur. My name is Karina Saldivar.
That concludes Amor y Pan's presentation. We are giving Karina just a few minutes to chime in right now so that she can participate in this Q&A session.
Yes, we can hear you.
No, you're here. Great presentation. I totally get the value proposition. I actually have a very specific question about the almond flour tortillas. And do you have any kind of proprietary position in the market? Is the recipe a trade secret? Is there what stops other tortilla manufacturers from making exactly what you've made?
Copyright.
Well, that's the trade. Yeah, that's really why I asked. And make sure when you have that discussion with them that you ask them about what needs to go into place to treat it as a trade secret, because that may actually, right, that may be your best protection. Good, cool.
Yes, great presentation. I was very excited to hear about the almond flour tortillas. I would like to try them myself. Wonderful. So I may have missed this and I apologize. What are the other, are you looking to have a portfolio or multiple products? Okay. Great. Well, I also just want to make a comment with, it's great that you were persistent and you have a wonderful entrepreneurial spirit and you made it through, of course, this very trying time with the pandemic. So kudos to you for doing that.
I have a question. I know you mentioned that you are wanting to get into like H-E-B and Whole Foods. do you have the capability both in capital and like manufacturing abilities to meet those orders? Like if you were to get an order from Whole Foods, could you fulfill it?
Have you ever looked at or considered any kind of contract manufacturing in the food industry? Yeah, and especially as you ramp up the volume need, you might want to take a look at that. So you could actually have your manufacturing going on, but at the same time, kind of have that as a relief valve. So if you needed to up production, you could do it without having to spend money on the capital costs.
Thank you all for those questions. This concludes our Q&A session, and we're going to move on to our next presenter. Our final presentation of today's event is Solar Kitchen, a company that's looking to establish research, development, and manufacturing of solar-powered kitchen appliances for commercial use. Up next.
Hi, my name is Laura Mignel, and I'm the founder of this company, Solar Kitchen. This is the goal and the dream, a solar-powered indoor series of ovens and kitchen equipment that use solar to offset, either partially or completely, the need to purchase electricity to run equipment. The problem that inspired me to start working
Hello, everyone. We're having some further technical difficulties with audio. We shall be up in a couple more seconds, so just bear with us.
Hi, my name is Laura Mignel, and I'm the founder of this company, Solar Kitchen. This is the goal and the dream, a solar-powered indoor series of ovens and kitchen equipment that use solar to offset, either partially or completely, the need to purchase electricity to run equipment. The problem that inspired me to start working on this many years ago is that my aunt was a professional baker, and friends of mine talk about starting a restaurant, but the costs are a barrier. The equipment itself can run anywhere between $10,000 to $100,000, and the average utility bill, which recurs every month, is anywhere between $300 to $3,000. So in order Hi, my name is Laura Mignell, and I'm the founder of this company, Solar Kitchen. This is the goal and the dream, a solar-powered indoor series of ovens and kitchen equipment that use solar to Hi, my name is Laura Mignell, and I'm the founder of this company, Solar Kitchen. This is the goal and the dream, a solar-powered indoor series of ovens and kitchen equipment that use solar to offset, either partially or completely, the need to purchase electricity to run equipment. The problem that inspired me to start working on this many years ago is that my aunt was a professional baker, and friends of mine talk about starting a restaurant, but the costs are a barrier. The equipment itself can run anywhere between $10,000 to $100,000, and the average utility bill, which recurs every month, is anywhere between $300 to $3,000. So in order to determine if this was feasible or not, we first had to understand the problem from a local perspective. I went out into the community and talked to the owner of Captain Bob's restaurant, Mi Pueblito, Gourmet Central, Juani's Cake Some More, and Tom's Barbecue to find out and establish if there was a need for this technology. The daytime usage versus nighttime usage of each of these restaurants was plotted on a chart. The white area is the daytime area, and the blue area is the nighttime area. This chart shows how much each business could potentially benefit from a solar offset. As you can see, most of these food production businesses operate their equipment during daylight hours. With a few exceptions, Tony's Barbecue starts at 2:30 in the morning until 7 in the morning, would not be able to use solar because it's dark. And Mi Pueblito also, because they start early at about 7 a.m. and go on until midnight, that they would also not be able to use solar for that early morning portion and also the late night portion. But for the most part, there is a substantial amount of money that could be saved. And in particular, Juani's Cakes and Gourmet Central operate entirely during the day, which would give them near 100% benefit if this were a perfectly sunny day and they were using this technology. There is an established need for this technology. Most of the companies surveyed operate primarily during the day, and their utility bills are extremely high, on average between $1,600 to $2,100, and that does not even include paying your staff, your rent, or any other expenses. The highest end was paying $3,300 to $3,600 a month. In-depth market research will be conducted, including direct energy measurements, daily usage patterns, in order to develop an acceptable cost and pricing model. The high energy bills you saw from our local businesses here in Brownsville were not an aberration, because producing heat is highly energy intensive. According to Energy Star, an entire household would use about 12,000 kilowatt hours annually, but a single deep fryer would use over 18,000, and that is because the fryer is producing heat. People think, why don't you just put regular solar panels on a restaurant roof? But PV panels simply aren't capable of producing that much heat in real time. Solar Kitchen uses a different type of sun collection system that turns sunlight into heat, which is used immediately at the cooking appliance. There's no storage. It heats equipment up directly in real time, so you don't have to buy electricity or natural gas for that part of the day. This is just so you can see that solar can be used as a heat input, and it can produce, it can do useful work. It can cook food. This is just imitating a stove burner, one method of doing it. And here you can see it's cooking the egg. And as you can see, it's a very small panel that I'm using. It's not even, obviously not even close to the size of a PV array. If you tried to do that to produce 750 to 800 watts constantly with PV, you'd need at least 3 to 4 40-pound panels each. This is similar to a toaster oven broiler that I was trying to copy the effect of, and it did actually toast it, crisp it pretty well, and it was still boiling there, as you can see. And that's again just with pure solar power. Not even insulated, it's just out there in the middle of just sitting out there. This is more of an oven demonstration. This is this is a parabolic system that concentrates light kind of on that tube that you see there. And you can see it bakes bread. One of the real advantages of this is that I don't have to pay for any of that. I can, bake bread all day, boil beans all day, do, very highly energy intensive kitchen applications, and I don't pay anything more than the basic cost of dry beans, flour, water, because I'm not paying for any of this. This is interesting. This is going along with that thought. You can produce some pretty high-end things. This is a roasted watermelon. It takes about 3 to 4 hours. It's already nighttime by the time I finish. And the idea behind this was to make, it's like a vegan meat substitute. And I read about it. I wanted to try it out. And so you can make sushi with it. You can see the little watermelon seed in there. It's just kind of, probably would be pretty expensive if you bought this in a store or in a restaurant, because it is highly energy intensive. There you can, another agricultural application, you can just cook food right off the tree. This is for, we just had the winter storm, you can basically make rice and beans all the time. That's a totally passive system, mostly relying on reflection. So the major benefit to food producers who are able to incorporate solar into their equipment is that over time, once the initial installation is paid off, you will have a substantial energy savings throughout the life of your equipment. Whereas a person buying a regular stove range, once they pay off the stove range, will continue to have very high utility payments forever, as long as they keep using it. Our first target is the North American market, which is about a $2.5 billion market for primary cooking equipment. We feel providing equipment with a solar offset would be highly attractive to businesses struggling with high monthly bills. And if Solar Kitchen were able to obtain 1% of this market in 10 years, that would equal $25 million in revenue. As you can see, the COVID pandemic has affected and driven down demand in 2020, but is quickly expected to recover once the economy gets going again. And the reason for that recovery is basically that the global population is increasing worldwide, and the more people there are, the more food has to be produced, and to produce the food, you have to have equipment. There's also a rise in disposable income, and commercial kitchens are investing in energy-efficient appliances to protect their bottom line so they don't have to raise the price of food. These are the components of the project that I am seeking funding for: market research to develop a cost and pricing model, scientific research R&D, and the patent funding will help develop and hire the patent attorney. The business model consists of research and development for the first 2 years. Then we will send off the refined commercialized version for third-party validation and begin licensing and producing the equipment here in Brownsville. Approximately 75% of the market is dominated by 4 major equipment producers. This market is considered difficult to enter, and pricing is volatile due to the cost of steel. However, the Solar Kitchen module is designed to be a hybrid system that can integrate solar into existing equipment during the day to offset high utility bills. We still need the gas or electric system in place so that it can be used 24 hours, regardless of whether the sun is shining or not. This means we would be looking at these manufacturers as potential partners as well. In the final analysis, Solar Kitchen offers a breakthrough in energy innovation that offers extreme competitive advantages to struggling kitchen owners who can save a substantial amount of money instead of paying high utilities. Just as I was able to use solar to bake bread and roast while paying zero in utility overhead, this system could very well revolutionize the food production business. Brownsville, Texas would be the sole location and manufacturer of the Solar Kitchen arrays for the entire United States and elsewhere, because I am the patent holder and we are the ideal place to manufacture and ship. We are hub zoned, we have a skilled labor pool, sea freight via the Port of Brownsville, rail shipping and import-export trucking companies here. We will continue to receive support through the UTRGV Entrepreneurship and Commercialization Center to create the infrastructure and access to talent in the local entrepreneurial ecosystem. On the science team, I've also reached an agreement with Wayne Kashmar, who is an excellent, highly talented individual. Restaurants and food-producing industries are a keystone of any city's economic base. Because daytime solar cooking is so inexpensive, it opens up the potential for new models. One idea was turning the Market Square area into a revitalization food court for new entrepreneurs. Small vacant buildings would have the Solar Kitchen equipment installed. These would be rented out to people who want to try out a new food or restaurant concept, but are afraid of the risk of buying this equipment themselves. They could try out the restaurant on a small scale, and if successful, they would outgrow the space and buy and renovate larger properties nearby. The test kitchen would then be rented out to a new restaurant startup. The PI of Solar Kitchen recently won first place in a USDA ARS HeroX NASA Tournament Lab competition for another solar design. We've spent over 8 years research and testing various solar models. The company was formed in 2020, and we have a trademark live on the USPTO, is to produce indoor solar-powered kitchen equipment for commercial businesses. We also are producing outdoor solar appliances like I've demonstrated in this video. Thank you so very much to the businesses that allowed me to interview them for this production. Thank you.
Can you all hear me?
Part of the design. It's actually in 3 phases, and I tried to keep this presentation on the economic side, but there's a whole other scientific team that is going to be working on it. And I've already made contact with people from a group actually that is developing some aerospace equipment out of MIT, some research that was done over there with regard to insulators. And let's see, there's actually several people. I've got a modeler. There's a whole group that's behind this, but we're at the research and development phase right now. If you saw the whole video, I was demonstrating some of the different methods of using solar power as a heat input for cooking, and it can actually basically replicate any kind of cooking that you need to do because it's non-directional and it's not gravity dependent, and it's also not fuel dependent other than sunlight. And so unlike, something like gas where it generally has to be under because it tends to rise, like heat rises, because it's solar and it's a wavelength, you can just flip it around and move it with mirrors. So if you want to boil it, you just flip it over on top. If you want to bake with it, you can surround the compartment. You can focus it or you can use it generally. And
So does it maintain a consistent temperature? Or do
yes.
Okay.
That's one of the things we're looking at as far as the advanced design of it, because normally if you think of the solar plex, at noon, like solar noon is going to be the highest radiation. But like when I'm cooking with it, that's not really an advantage, because if you were, like, let's say you're baking a cake, right, and you've got 3 sets of cakes you have to bake in a day. You don't want the temperature of the oven to rise at noon and then go down, because then the one at noon gets scorched, right? And you want it to be predictable so that your the thermostat is already built into your equipment. It doesn't malfunction because it can't compensate for it. A thermostat only adds heat when it expects it to fall, right? But if you're adding in heat yourself, then the temperature's going to keep rising. It really can't compensate for that. And so, yeah, that is one of the things definitely and that has a lot to do with geometry, actually. But yes.
Great, thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about your the proprietary position you have? Is it patented? Is it patent pending? What kind of protection do you have on the idea?
Yes, it is patent pending, and it has already been. Let's see. Actually, there's 2 patent pending. There's 2 provisionals on it. I did one.
So how long ago did you file the provisionals?
Within 6 months. And right now, I just won a $20,000 award from a NASA Tournament Lab USDA research program for another solar design, and that's going to go into the patent probably. Because now I have that one actually, and so I need to patent both of them. But both of them have provisions on them right now.
So in terms of the path that they're on, when do you expect to know the resolution of the provisionals?
Well, as soon as you file for the initial patent, that extent, your provisional has a 12-month, generally a 12-month with like more or less a 6-month grace period, right? And so as soon as I file the patent, it'll stop the clock on that. And I've already done, this is more of like the economic side of it. There is also about a 15-page project narrative. There's a bunch of technical specifications, go, no-go points. I don't know if you've ever done grant applications before, but they're pretty technical. And this one was with the Department of Energy. And so they needed, I've got like 20 pages worth of documentation on the equipment itself. But the provisional was very specific. It did have diagrams in it, claims, everything you would need to, to correct your idea. And I also spoke when I was talking to NREL, which is the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, to see if they'd be able to consult on it. They said they hadn't heard of anything like this, so they were very happy about it. One of former NREL person is going to be one of the people helping the project, most likely.
Yeah, thank you.
Laura, I'm wondering, this is obviously a great concept, a great idea overall, and I'm wondering what the roadblocks have been for, let's just say, a larger appliance manufacturer like GE or something like that. Why haven't they done this? What has been the barriers up to now? Is it something that you discovered that maybe they haven't yet, or why do you think that these others haven't done it?
I think generally, even among people who do solar ovens and solar baking, there is, if you're really into solar, they're usually fine with baking outside. I wanted to bring it indoors because I saw that, you can't really do it indoor. It's just it's brand new. Some of the materials I want to order just came out of publication within the last 2 years. One of them I think I mentioned was that MIT just came out of their research, not even, I think 2018. Some of this stuff is just extremely brand new. And I don't even know why they haven't done it yet. I think it's just too new. India, they just barely came out with a solar pasteurization. That was one of the few examples of indoor solar cooking I've ever seen, and it's for a milk factory. And what they do is they have these pump systems, and they pump the milk out the pipes on the roof, and the solar plates heat it, so it's direct solar. But it's not like a user-friendly system, right? It's not interchangeable. You can't do any kind of other thing with it. It's only for milk pasteurization. And so a lot of these developments are usually pretty specific to a certain task, right? And I don't know, I feel like basically kitchen equipment manufacturers, a lot of them have been in business hundreds of years. I think some of them from the 1800s. 1900s. I think Vulcan is from 1850 or so, and that's because the design hasn't changed that much. What is an oven, right? It's a compartment with insulation and a shell and a thermostat and a heating element or gas, right? So there's been some innovations. They've gone digital in some ways. You have induction cooktops. That's relatively new. But I think for the most part, it's I don't know. I don't really know. I think it's just something very new. Maybe the materials didn't exist 10 years ago. And actually, that's probably it. Because some of the other, I don't want to go into the proprietary part of it, but some of the stuff I'm ordering is, there isn't even an American manufacturer for some of it. I've had to go to Japan or Australia.
Thanks.
Audio.
I think what was missed is
Yeah, I saw that. It was very helpful. Thanks.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, judges, as well, for the Q&A session. Let me just give you a second here. Laura, can you please be so kind to disconnect from the Zoom conference? Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And that concludes the presentations for our second annual Startup Texas Pitch Summit. We're going to go ahead and start the deliberations. We're going to take a 10-minute commercial break.
I saw that the country is running short of PPE, particularly the mask. The mask is very important to stop the spread of the virus. But unfortunately, our country is not producing that. So I think we have expertise here. We have the support from the city. So why not we do this here in Brownsville? For any places, any people who have need, but if they cannot afford it, we are willing to donate. Whenever we do any project, we need financial support. The BCIC is always supportive, not only financially, but also in terms of policy, in terms of training. So we can always rely on BCIC to give us advice. I saw that the country is running short of PPE, particularly the mask. The mask is very important to stop the spread of the virus. But unfortunately, our country is not producing that. So I think we have expertise here. We have the support from the city. So why not we do this here in Brownsville? For any places, any people who have need, but if they cannot afford it, we are willing to donate. Whenever we do any project, we need financial support. The BCIC is always supportive, not only financially, but also in terms of policy, in terms of training. So we can always rely on BCIC to give us advice.
Did you know the City of Brownsville has its own COVID-19 helpline? We understand that you have questions about testing, vaccines, and amendments to declarations. We have answers and we connect you to the resources. Call 956-394-0012, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have real people behind each phone line. The City of Brownsville COVID-19 helpline is here to help. Call today.
I saw that the country is running short of PPE, particularly the mask. The mask is very important to stop the spread of the virus. But unfortunately, our country is not producing that. So I think we have expertise here. We have the support from the city. So why not we do this here in Brownsville? For any places, any people who have need, but if they cannot afford it, we are willing to donate. Whenever we do any project, we need financial support. The BCIC is always supportive, not only financially, but also in terms of policy, in terms of training. So we can always rely on BCIC to give us advice.
Welcome to the Rio Grande Valley.
she's on, she wants to move. Looking for trouble, honey, is it you? Feel the world under her feet, all the cracks up in the concrete. Take a step back, she's coming through. Baby's looking shady, she's on the run. Maybe, just maybe she'll find the sun.
I saw that the country is running short of PPE, particularly the mask. The mask is very important to stop the spread of the virus. But unfortunately, our country is not producing that. So I think we have expertise here. We have the support from the city. So why not we do this here in Brownsville? For any places, any people who have need, but if they cannot afford it, we are willing to donate. Whenever we do any project, we need financial support. The BCIC is always supportive, not only financially, but also in terms of policy, in terms of training. So we can always rely on BCIC to give us advice.
Did you know the City of Brownsville has its own COVID-19 helpline? We understand that you have questions about testing, vaccines, and amendments to declarations. We have answers and we connect you to the resources. Call 956-394-0012, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have real people behind each phone line. The City of Brownsville COVID-19 helpline is here to help. Call today.
I saw that the country is running short of PPE, particularly the mask. The mask is very important to stop the spread of the virus. But unfortunately, our country is not producing that. So I think we have expertise here. We have the support from the city. So why not we do this here in Brownsville? For any places, any people who have need, but if they cannot afford it, we are willing to donate. Whenever we do any project, we need financial support. The BCIC is always supportive, not only financially, but also in terms of policy, in terms of training.
Welcome to the Rio Grande Valley.
Baby got her shoes on, she wants to move. Looking for trouble, honey, is it you? Feel the world under her feet, all the cracks up in the concrete. Take a step back, she's coming through. Baby looking shady, she's on the run. Maybe, just maybe she'll find the sun.
Hey everyone. Hey everyone, thank you so much for your patience. The judges have finished their deliberations and we're finally ready to announce the 5 top winning finalists for Startup Texas. Our first winner is Amor y Pan. Congratulations. Our next winner is SECNER. Congratulations as well. Our third winner is Cilantro Sauce. Congratulations, guys. Our next winner, Raw Chocolate. Congratulations, everyone. Our last winner is Pluton Brewing Company. Congratulations, guys. And lastly, our Community Choice Award. Just like last year, Pluton Brewing Company. Congratulations again, and thank you to all your fans and everyone else who was able to vote. That's it for our Startup Texas Pitch Summit. Thank you all for tuning in, and we can't wait to bring even better programs for you all next year.